All right, do you have flood insurance? For residents in Central Florida, the answer could determine if they're able to file an insurance claim for damage caused by Hurricanes Helene and Milton.
Many companies have declared the recent storms were mostly a flood event, which means people without flood insurance could find themselves left high and dry when filing a claim.
CBS News Miami's Joe Gorchow examines the importance of flood insurance and the impact the storm could have on the overall insurance market.
See where the water was all the way up to the top.
Claudia scrolls through her phone, showing us how the floods in April 2023 damaged her Edgewood home. She didn't want to give her last name for privacy reasons, but she did share her challenging experience.
It took 6 days before the water got down. I couldn't get into my house. I had to climb through the window.
And in June this year, she says another rain event left about 2 feet of standing water, she says, in the home, ruining the floors, belongings, and appliances.
I'm still trying to get my claim for it. And then I have a lot of people tell me, why don't you sell and get out? Sell and get out. Good. Where do I go?
She loves her home. She plans to stay. With her house completely paid off, she doesn't have to carry property insurance. She chooses not to, saying it's too expensive.
Just stayed with the flood insurance, and that's been glad I did that because that's the only thing that saved this house.
If you don't have flood insurance, then that could be a pretty penny.
Jose Mata works for Sabanda Insurance. He explains flood insurance is a separate policy provided by private insurers or by the National Flood Insurance Program. The Insurance Information Institute estimates that only 20% of Floridians have a flood insurance policy. Most policies written in Florida are through FEMA, with a $250,000 building coverage cap and a $100,000 cap for contents.
Private flood market is a good option, hopefully, for some people.
Mark Freelander says there is a high risk for homeowners going without flood insurance, especially after an increase in major flooding events in Florida.
More people living in harm's way than ever before, and particularly in South Florida.
He calls it a 365-a-day risk, whether it's heavy rains or hurricanes. Freelander adds that the hurricanes that made landfall this year don't pose a risk to our insurance premiums.
Overall capital position of the industry is strong.
Should consumers here in South Florida feel comfortable that their premiums won't escalate that much more than they already have with a healthy insurance market?
We can't make any predictions yet on where rates will go because of the storm activity this year. It's premature to do that. The trend is positive. Because when we look at other states, we're seeing double-digit increases.
Regardless, the continued increases have homeowners asking the same question.
How am I going to afford all this and then keep a house going and the whole bit?
Rates stabilizing, though, might offer a little comfort, with the average homeowner in South Florida paying around 5 figures annually for coverage, according to Insurify. That said, the Insurance Information Institute believes rates will not drastically increase here, calling Milton and Helene moderate loss events for property insurers.
And Joe, even people who have insurance coverage find themselves it's lacking when they need it.
And that's the most difficult part, and especially for people like Claudia, who we spoke with, having to make those difficult decisions, wondering if it's even worth it to pay for insurance, rather just pocket the money and save it themselves and take on that risk.
Yep, it's a lot of money.
Good insight there, Joe. Thank you so much.
All right, Joe, thank you. Now, are you ready for it? Here's what we're working on for tomorrow on CBS News Miami at 11.